Immigration is clearly a top issue impacting the recent primaries, but does Eric Cantor's election loss mean the end of the debate or just the beginning? We have a lot on this. Ben Howe, contributing editor at Red State, can answer that question.
Well, you know, there was only 22% of the voters that went for Bratt were even amnesty was on their radar.
Right.
I think that a lot of people...
But that's what we've been hearing, though. We're like, well, this is for sure. This means amnesty is... they didn't want him because of amnesty and amnesty alone. I don't understand the goal in using that as the sole surface reason as to why this happened.
Because they don't want people to realize that there were many reasons to not want Cantor in office anymore. There are many reasons to not want lots of these establishment candidates in office anymore. And when we allow them to make it about immigration,
right?
Then I mean, even Ann Coulter said he was great except for. Well, I don't agree with that. I mean, he was pretty good when he first came in, but he's tried too hard to get along with Boehner's position in the House,
right.
And they've allowed bills they know weren't going to go anywhere in the Senate to go there and die over and over again, and we've accomplished nothing. Government's grown. So I don't want to give them that. I don't want to give them there was this one issue.
Because it excuses
everything else they're doing. And the other thing is, I think it sets up this false belief that fixing the border is something that we don't want to do.
Right.
You know, because people have shorthand started just referring to it as immigration. We don't want to fix immigration. Well, actually, we do want to fix immigration. We don't want to fix it the way.
But we don't mean amnesty.
Right.
When
we don't
they say
want
immigration
amnesty.
reform, they mean
we want to
amnesty.
secure the border. We want to figure out a solution that makes sense. But they've turned it into you know, an anti-immigrant, anti-legal immigration, and of course, racism. You know, which is.
Of course
that's
going to play into it. I was looking at the optics of this. What is it? Eric Cantor spent $168,000 on steak. I mean, it must be nice, like quite literally living high here. And then David Bratt, $122,000, something like that, on his entire campaign in that same time span.
Yeah.
There's your optics right there. He's out of touch. I heard he didn't even visit his district hardly at all. He didn't go door to door. Did he ever go door to door?
No, he didn't think he needed to. And you know, there were a lot of people that were upset that he lost. They said that the seat became competitive.
Right.
And I found that just such an outrageous way to look at it. You know, why shouldn't he have to fight for his seat?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't he have to make? They're upset that he didn't just sail in on incumbency. You know, they're angry that now he's not going to be able to just win because his name was already on the ballot.
So who's going to take his spot? Are we going to have somebody like McCarthy? Are we going to have somebody that's going to be a rubber stamp for Boehner? Or could we get like a Jeb Hensarling in there?
I think we're going to get a rubber stamp for Boehner because what they want is they want, and they're going to say this over and over, we can't have a leadership struggle during the midterms. We can't have us focused on trying to figure out who's going to be in what leadership. It's basically an excuse because every time any major issue comes up, there's always a reason we have to wait, and that's what they'll use this time.
Let me talk to you about Mississippi. We have this. You actually sent me this audio of Thad Cochran. I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about with this. Check this indecent. We're just calling this indecent things.
It was an adventure to be out there in the country and to see what goes on, picking up pecans, from that to all kinds of indecent things with animals.
What does that mean? What is he?
You know,
not to be rude, dude is too old to be in there anymore. He's been in there for 60 some odd years now.
He's about 7,000 years old, and he.
We carbon dated him yet?
I think that he doesn't I mean, my hope is, and this is a terrible hope. My hope is he was just talking about horribly slaughtering animals, like that's what he meant, and not what we would normally think of when you think of the word indecency. Because when I hear the word indecency,
I think of animal lover, and not like PETA.
I mean, but you know, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the campaign's now going to have to come out and deny that he had sexual relations with animals. That's just the worst possible position for a campaign to be in.
What is the NRSC? Are they going to really try to have a civil war in here and spend all of this money for Cochran over Chris McDaniel?
You know, the NRSC says that they're in the business of protecting their members. Their members are incumbents.
Right.
They don't get into policy. Okay. They don't get into, you know, beastiality, things like that. And so their position now is that they still support Cochran, but they are backing off a little bit, okay? But they're only backing off in the most visible ways. They're actually sending people on the ground out there to knock on doors, because Lord knows Thad Cochran can't walk around and knock on doors.
He doesn't even recognize the reporter who interviews him.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
you know, and somebody got on my case because I kept talking about the fact that, you know, he's older than a lot of dead people. And they were getting on me about making fun of the fact that he was old, that it was cheap, I guess, to make fun of that.
But it shows his entrenchment.
Well, it's also, why is it so important for this guy to stay in office at 76 years old?
Why can't we make it competitive? Are we afraid of a fight?
Well, yeah, they are. They think that the majority, regardless of the quality of the majority,
right.
all that matters is that we have the numbers. But if you look back in the early 2000s, we had a majority, we grew the government, we cut taxes, but we didn't cut spending,
right.
you know, and we've not shown that we can handle a majority that well to begin with. So when they tell us just get these guys in, regardless
right.
of how moderate they appear, I'm just like, well, we've already been through this. We've already, you know, danced this dance.
Exactly. Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. You can find Ben at redstate.com, also Mr. Smith Media.